Do you know who that is? Is it one of the students?
I actually have no idea. Maybe he was a famous painter or something.
Good morning, students. What are you talking about?
Talking about the name written on the board. Do you know who that is, mister?
Yes, actually, it's today's lesson. Today we will learn about this remarkable mathematician.
Leonhard Euler was a Swiss mathematician, physicist, astronomer, logician and engineer that made revolutionary discoveries and contributed largely to the modern mathematician in terminology and notation. He was born in the year 1707 in Basel in Switzerland and died in 1783 in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Soon after his birth, Euler's parents, Pastor Paul III Euler and Marguerite Brucker, decided to move from Basel to the town of Riehen. It was in this small town where Euler spent his first 13 years before going to university. While his father urged his son to become a minister, Johann Bernoulli, the remarkable mathematician and friend of family, convinced him to let him study mathematics, after witnessing the boy's talent.
At the age of 13, Euler began his studies at the University of Basel, while being mentored by Bernoulli. In 1723, he received a Master's of Philosophy, and 3 years later, he won second place at the Paris Academy Prize Problem Competition.
In the mid-1740s, Euler was appointed the mathematics director of the newly created Berlin Academy of Science and Beaux Arts, eventually becoming head himself of the academy in 1759, but only for a while. By the early 1770s, Euler had lost his sight completely, yet he still continued his scientific work with assistance.
Later, he would win first place 12 times. In 1727, he took a position in the Imperial Russian Academy of Science in St. Petersburg and later on worked also as a medic in the Russian Navy. In 1741, he moved to Berlin, where he stayed 25 years working in the Berlin Academy while publishing his most outstanding discovery.
In 1738 he became almost blind from his right eye, and in 1766 he also lost sight in his left eye due to a cataract, which left him blind. This, however, didn't stop his work, as he said, "Now I will have fewer distractions." Years later he returned to Russia and died, but not without transcending in story of mathematics.
Now, let's talk about Euler's contributions to the field of mathematics. Euler, considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all times, transformed almost every aspect of mathematics. He contributed greatly to the fields of geometry, trigonometry, calculus, differential equations, number theory, and notational systems. It is important to mention that Euler was the first to write f of x to detonate a formula and use the uppercase Greek sigma for summation. In addition, he introduced pi for the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, and I for the square root of -1, one of the most important imaginary numbers.
Math professor Howard Anton states that Euler was probably the most prolific mathematician who ever lived. It has been said that Euler wrote mathematics as effortlessly as most men read. Euler's identity has been described as the most beautiful equation and the most remarkable formula in mathematics. It is written as e to the I pi plus 1 equals 0. It is said that this equation comprises the 5 most important mathematical constants. These are the numbers 0, 1, pi, e, and I. Furthermore, the number e, one of the most important irrational numbers, was discovered by this successful mathematician. The number is the base of natural logarithms, and its first few digits are 2.71828.
Now we will solve the following problem from our calculus class, which is related to some of Euler's most important contributions. As you can see in this problem, we will use two of Euler's creations, number pi and e.
To solve this definite integral, which goes from -1 to 0, we must first find its antiderivative, which will be 2x squared over 2 plus 4 e to the 2x over 2 plus 2 pi x. This will then become x squared plus 2 e to the 2x plus 2 pi x. Then, we use this antiderivative to find the definite integral from -1 to 0. We first plug in the 0, which gives us 2. And then we do the same for -1, and this gives us -5.01. Lastly, we subtract these two numbers and get 7.01 as the final answer.
While this discovery is remarkable, it isn't the only one from Euler. The mathematician is also credited for its trigonometric functions, which are used for the angles that can be related with the lengths and sides of a triangle. These functions are essential for various reasons, like the studying of triangles or the modeling of periodic phenomena. Now we will see another problem from Euler's creations that we saw in our class of calculus, which is related to trigonometric functions. Yeah.
As you can see, in this problem, we will use trigonometric functions like tangents and sine.
To solve this indefinite integral, we must first use the trigonometric identities. These state that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. This way, we can replace tangent squared and we can simplify the problem. We will get sine squared over cosine squared as the denominator and sine squared as the denominator. Thanks to this, we can eliminate the sine squared and be left with 1 over cosine squared. This is also another trigonometric identity that equals secant squared. Once we are left with this, we may begin integrating. The answer is f of x equals tangent of x plus c.
Wow, Leonhard Euler was a remarkable mathematician.
I agree, and now I understand the origins of what we do in class.
Thank you, mister, for helping us understand more about the history of mathematics.